So every piece of our fleet is identified through a GPS.
But it'll tell us exactly where they are. So, and the routes they took. You know, so if we're having a job that's here and this guy goes like this to get to work, or otherwise burning so much fuel, we can go back and look at that. It's stored in how fast they're going, if they're harsh cornering. So at the end of each day, it produces a report that basically has each of the vehicles based on our schedule. I do a quick glance at it to see is anything. It was costing us about $6,000 to $7,000 a month in fuel idling. Just I'm not doing an hour job and leaving the truck running. So this flags that stuff. So we're down to about 3,000 now.
So I will be very quick. I just want to, first of all, to Scott and the organizing committee, thank you for bringing this conference into Charlottetown. We all know these things don't just happen, and it takes a lot of time and effort. So Scott, Mike, and company, great job, thank you. I just want to welcome you all to Charlottetown. As many of you probably know, Charlottetown being the birthplace of Confederation is where the fathers met here in 1864, and Carl Wilson, who was here with us from the city's Public Works Department, was actually at that meeting. So it's great to see Carl. But I do recall, probably 3 or 4 years ago, I think Charlottetown hosted this convention, and Paul Johnson, our manager of Public Works, gave me a joke to tell, and went over like a lead balloon, so this time I figured I'm going to use my own. He's an engineer and really not that funny.
We saw 10 test sections. This side of the road was polymer, this side of the road wasn't. We monitored them for almost 10 years, and bottom line was that we got about 2.5 to 3 years longer in life out of the road section that had polymer versus the one that didn't have polymer. So you'd think this is a good thing, right? Ontario Ministry of Transportation says one supplier, I can't buy from one supplier. There has to be competition in the market. One thing that has caused so many problems with everything we do in North America is procurement processes. How do we buy stuff? We buy low bidder.
Oroville was the big dam in California that failed. They needed to get a survey done in a very quick way, and it wasn't safe to get it any other way. Other technologies like scanners couldn't see the holes that they had. They literally had 300-400 foot craters. So we were mobilized with a couple other companies to actually go and map the entire destruction zone, so to speak, so the engineers could start putting a plan back in place. We were the only craft in the air that day. There was a lot of other UAVs, smaller Phantoms. The wind was gusting about 45 to 60 kilometers an hour, and our craft stood for about 80. We were able to essentially map the entire destruction zone in 2 days.
But at the same time, if you're focusing only on those employees who are doing relatively well and who can, we need not to forget about these other employees who may be left aside at the moment because they're the ones who are struggling with the most difficult, like the depression, anxiety disorders, and whatever. The insurance benefits may not be high or good enough to cover the treatment they need. They don't get treatment with the EAP, and they don't get treatment in their community as well. Too often, I'm telling you, we are receiving calls, and we're dealing with employees who have waited a very long time before accessing help. And it's not that we cannot help them, but it would have been so much easier if they had accessed way before.
There we have gravity thickeners. Again, the solid material settles down to the bottom of the gravity thickeners. We send it through a pasteurization process. So we heat all of that sludge up to 70 degrees Celsius and hold it there for 30 minutes. That's the same type of process that we use to pasteurize milk, to make milk safe for drinking. We do the same thing to the sludge that we're putting through the plant each and every day. So we're killing all the pathogenic organisms in that material, so that's then safe for use out on agricultural fields. From the pasteurization system, we put it into the anaerobic digesters. And the anaerobic digesters, again, break the organic material down, and they produce biogas for us. We burn that biogas to produce the heat that we need to pasteurize the material. In the winter, we also use that heat to heat our buildings.
So why is it important, I guess, for our municipalities to be thinking about sustainability? And there's a lot of different factors that are playing into that. And some of that is the global trends and how they're impacting our local communities. So we're seeing changes in our stakeholder needs and wants. So stakeholders are our citizens, they're the business community, they're legislators. So we're seeing changes in demand in terms of what citizens expect from their governments. We're seeing increases in their expectation. We're seeing business community sort of driving innovation to try to move things forward in this area. And we're also, we need to think of stakeholders as our employees too. So how are we engaging them and how are their expectations changing in terms of how our operations are taking place?
And there's an aerial shot. We do a lot of shoreline protection on this one as well because the footprint of the roundabout actually puts out into the water some. So you can see along the edge of the shore there are riprap and so because these were built at the same time, they kind of work together as a system. There's a median built from between the two, so there's no left turns allowed. And that, of course, affected the businesses along the side of the road there, but none of them have complained, and they actually, I think most of them feel it's a lot safer now. So if you want to go to one of the businesses, you'll have to go down the roundabout and come up the other side. So it just allows traffic to flow efficiently, and when you eliminate the left turns, you eliminate a lot of accidents and a lot of congestion as well.
If you look at the injury collision rates, so the collisions that resulted in injuries, okay, so total collisions takes in all the account of all your fender benders, everything. But the collisions that resulted in injuries, within the first 5 years, we had a decrease of 76%. And from 5 years to 10 years out since construction, we had a decrease of, again, pretty close to 78%.
We missed recognizing one gentleman that's done an awful lot of work. Albert, you want to stand up for a second? This guy did a lot of that work for us. It was just between the two of them, made my life a whole lot simpler when this thing set up and put together, how we managed. But I think it's gone over well, and we enjoyed having you all here in Charlottetown. Hope you all enjoyed your experience, and look forward to seeing everybody in Dieppe.